When your opinion of someone is positive, those flags can start being overlooked, or you start saying, oh, but they're a good person. I trust them. Oh, I mean, they wouldn't want to hurt me on purpose. It's easy to rationalize warning signs of a bad relationship when you have a positive view of someone, but it doesn't mean that they're not there or should be ignored.
Your bestie may be out there talking crap and getting all condescending.
And they're on version 3.0 and they're off on some other stuff, but we still see the good in you, Anakin.
Of course, dropping someone from your life like a hotcake isn't very simple. Once those strings of friendship and nostalgia are already there, it really is difficult to shut out these quote-unquote friends. You've already invested so much time and emotion on them after all. Safe to say that moments like this really show you how sunk cost fallacy is a bitch. Unfortunately for us, these kinds of friends have multiple variants, and some of us had the wonderful misfortune of having encountered most of them. Oh, we're first diving deep into the classic archetype of terrible friends, the Backstabbers. These people are the definition of two-faced. They will act all happy and accommodating towards you when you're in the same room, but what happens when you leave? They whisper to the person next to them, talking smack about how you walk or how you talk, making pointed remarks about your looks. Good chance is, they'll also come for your personality, the choices you made, all the things that matter to you. It's not even just that. Because of their traitorous nature, they will be privy to selling you out if it benefits them. Like, if you complained about your mom's cooking some time ago, they'll hop in on dinner at your house, singing praises about the food and making your negative opinion very clear in contrast. What's the end goal here? Could be anything, but generally they just want to be seen as the better person. Psychology suggests a multitude of reasons as to why such people exist and why they're so okay with just betraying their supposed friends. A lot of the time, you'll come to find that these people backstab out of personal insecurities. You, and really any other person they're backstabbing, likely have something that the backstabber wants. Maybe you're better at sports, maybe you're the top of the class. Perhaps you have the nicer body or the prettier face. And generally, these people don't like confrontation, no. If they did, they wouldn't be here for the long haul, getting all cozy with you when you're there. If they were fine with confrontation, they would have cussed you out face to face the second they could. But they don't because they're scared. Because they know deep down that what they're saying isn't true. That they'd look crazy lying to you about yourself to your face. As I've mentioned earlier, it is pretty common for backstabbers to do this for their own benefit. Do you think Judas would have betrayed Jesus for a handful of dust? Do you think Edmund would have not sold out his siblings for some good-ass Turkish delight? They did it because they were going to gain something that they wanted from the betrayal. As minor as the gain may be, we really cannot underestimate the greed and gluttony some of us have. Want to know what's worse? Sometimes it's not even all about that. Some people just want to watch the world burn down, so they will backstab anyone and everyone just for the sake of drama. Hey, I enjoy watching a petty fight every now and then, but to this degree, it's overkill. Everyone's just bleeding out. Just like how you would be if you don't keep these backstabbers out of your circle. Now, I'll admit, I'm not the best at being present for my friends. So this is a guilty fault that I try very hard to improve, especially after dealing with the same kind of friends myself in the past. So here's the thing about these people. They're essentially the friend equivalent of the dad who went out to get some milk. They're there 1 second, but you won't hear from them until much, much later. More or less, you'll start thinking if you're even still friends with them, or if they actually give a flying fuck about you in the first place. Though a lot of the time, it's more likely that they don't. Look, we're not just talking here simply about the friends we converse with once a month or so. Some of us are busy thanks to life throwing hurdles left and right, so some of us will be guilty of not being in on everyone's lives 24/7. What I'm referring to here is the people who do everything in their power to stay away. The friends who make it their life mission to make you believe you guys are anything but close. They will disappear sporadically, turning into masters of ghosting. They'll make promises they can't keep. You propose a hangout, they say they'll be there. However, when time actually comes for the hangout, suddenly you can't get a hold of them. Or if you manage to, they'll be immediately busy due to whatever, their hands suddenly full and swamped with deadlines. There may also be instances when you guys actually hang out, but they never focus on you or your other friends. These people are susceptible to chatting up anyone else in the vicinity, or the more common feat in our current era, they'll be glued to their phone. Talk about rude. It's very easy to feel that they don't care because they literally show nothing that signifies that they do. They don't talk to you the way friends usually would. They don't hang out, they don't loosen up when you do spend time together. They don't help you in times of need, even if you'd aid them had the situation been flipped. This is literally nonchalance and indifference mashed into one. And let me tell you, those two factors kill relationships. Couples have divorced over that. Families have crumbled because of it. Friendships have faded thanks to those. Why are they like this in the first place, you may ask? Well, for a good chunk of these people, it mostly stems from their avoidant attachment style. They might have experienced a whole lot of emotional unavailability from adults as children, so they end up mirroring that behavior later on. They won't get emotionally vulnerable, so maintaining friendships is a hurdle. Until they actually seek a professional for this behavior, don't expect them to change anytime soon. Never play martyr and think you can fix them, because you're more likely to freeze from their coldness than thaw them from it. Yes, the masters of talking down on the people they should be hyping up.
I'm gonna be so real with you right now. We cannot be friends if you're condescending. That is the worst trait anyone could ever have. I'd rather be friends with a rude and horrible person than be friends with someone who's condescending. And obviously we all hate condescending people because they talk down to you, they talk to you like you're 2 years old, they talk to you like you're stupid. But the worst thing is that they talk to you like they're better.
Here's the deal with these people. I've come to find that while their crappiness looks less heavy than the traitors and avoiders, it's a lot simpler to get more frustrated with them. Why? Because these people pull up their toxic skill every day. Passive aggression is something a lot of these individuals have mastered, and you'll realize they use it religiously. They'll eye your outfit up and down, calling it fun, but the way they say it, there's something off about their tone. The simplest way to describe it is that it feels the same as when a popular girl in school compliments you. Think of that one scene in Mean Girls where Regina George calls a girl's pleated skirt vintage, then proceeds to say she finds it ugly once the girl is gone.
Oh my god, I love your skirt. Where did you get it?
It was my mom's in the 80s.
Vintage. So adorable.
Thanks.
That is the ugliest effing skirt I've ever seen.
Arguably speaking, this is a variation of backstabbing. Main distinction, however, is the whole passive-aggressive shtick. Traitors won't always make you feel like some tiny bug getting investigated under a magnifying glass. They will lie, but their lies will be subtle, hence why it hurts a lot when you find out they're bluffing. These condescending friends, on the other hand, they will make you feel that they're superior. They will make you feel and seem as the inferior one, making your agitation and irritation guaranteed to slowly build up over time. They're the kind of people who will call you sweetie, not because it's a cute pet name, but because they don't see you as an equal. In their eyes, you're like a kid to an adult. Tiny, naive, less skilled, that builds their ego quite a bit. And don't try to prove them wrong. They will die on the hill that you aren't all that you're not special or something. If you do manage something that you get acclaim for, they will be the fastest to shut it down so as to put you in your place.
One thing I notice about insecure people is they would always try to humble you, and literally they will say little things to pick at your self-esteem over time until you realize, like, that's weird.
It's like when someone calls you pretty, then this friend pulls up saying you've got your makeup done, or that you have extensions in your hair. Or when someone compliments you about your academic prowess, then they pop in the joke that you're playing teacher's pet with all of the professors, basically shoving out details to undermine the good traits you have. Why do this, you may wonder? Well, all roads in this topic typically lead to insecurity. It's especially prominent here because this kind of friend will do everything in their power to seem like the better one between you two. When you achieve something, they'll fork up reasons to make it seem inconsequential. But had they succeeded in the same thing, they'll glaze about how tough it was and all the effort they had to put in it. Moral of the story, don't even bother. Don't bother keeping these people around. You especially shouldn't make your wins known to these people unless you're up for a whole speech on how that's nothing compared to whatever the hell they think they've achieved 2 weeks ago. Let's get this straight beforehand. I absolutely believe that friends should be able to confide in each other, especially negative thoughts and experiences. Friends are supposed to support you, hence why there's this whole saying about how friends help you have your burdens when you're swamped with them while doubling your joy when you're winning. So there really isn't any issue about venting to your friends. That's a part of the relationship, and it's healthy to be emotionally vulnerable to the people you trust. Now, what I'm referring to here are the people who are so hell-bent on talking about only problems. Now, some of you may be thinking, well, what if they just have a lot of problems? That's a fair point, actually, and I can't blame people who are already so burdened with life. To be specific, the kind of friend I'm talking about is those whose problems are easily addressable, problems you or other friends have already given actionable advice on. Advice they never apply because, surprise, surprise, they love their problems.
Because we all have those friends who we're gonna give them advice, and they're gonna be like, yeah, you're right. And they're gonna turn around and do the same stupid nonsense again.
They want the drama, the pity, the attention. Because let's face it, we humans enjoy a piping hot cup of tea. Why else do you think drama channels, cliche telenovelas, and reality shows are so popular? Some of us enjoy seeing beef go down. Unfortunately, that means there are also people who want this happening way too often. The thing with problem preachers is that your talks will center on nothing but issues. Issues they have in life, their romantic partners, their other friends, their workplace, whichever of those they happen to be in the mood for. They will talk in painstaking detail about how mad or miserable they are because of it. You'll give them some advice to perhaps work through it, even bit by bit. Then they'll nod along, saying they will try. But do they try? Absolutely not. They won't try out your advice either, because they're stubborn, or they find it stupid even when it isn't. Or maybe they like having the problem. Because think about it, having a problem buys you some type of social pity points. There's a good chance they feel upset for an unknown reason, and to justify that, they will go out of their way to reassert age-old issues of theirs that could have been resolved long ago. Attention is one hell of a drug, I'm telling you. Since as long as they get what they want from the constant negative conversations, they won't stop. They will pay little mind to the fact that your energy is getting drained, or that you're starting to get sick of all this. With these people, it's literally the definition of same shit, different day. To combat them, it really boils down to this. Stop giving them time out of your day. At some point, you have to make it clear that if they won't actively take the steps to solve the problem, then you no longer care. All due to the fact that they don't seem to care about their problem enough to solve it either. Let's put it bluntly. Toxic friends mess with your sense of worth. They make you doubt yourself and leave you exhausted. If that's not enough reason to walk away, then I believe you need to do some self-introspection yourself in order to give your well-being the respect it deserves. Start by naming the behavior out loud. Those manipulative comments, constant criticism, the one-sided support, make it clear to them that you don't find that stuff normal because it isn't. Set small, real boundaries first and stick to them. When venting sessions are getting too much, tell them you can't do those at the moment, then recommend someone like a counselor to help them better. Make sure to tell the truth calmly when they cross the line. If they respond with respect and change, then great. Though in our current case, this is not likely to happen. So if they gaslight, minimize, or double down, that tells you all you need to know. That is not a friendship worth keeping.
Someone might be struggling with their own personal stuff, but mental illness doesn't negate their responsibility to maintain a healthy relationship. It just means they need to work on themselves, which is okay, but you don't need to be a part of that.
When it's time to cut someone off, remember that this is for your own safety. Decide whether you want a clean break or a slow fade. Both are valid and you can pursue either, depending on the situation you're in. For example, you'd be better off directly calling it quits with the backstabber. Meanwhile, for the avoidant, a slow fade makes more sense. If you choose to be direct, keep it short, specific, and don't get pulled into arguing. Literally walk away. Block on socials, remove them from group chats that drag you into drama, and tell mutual friends only what they need to, as you don't owe anyone a play-by-play. Expect some guilt, especially for the longer friendships, but remember, preserving your peace is the greatest love you can give yourself. Surround yourself with people who lift you up and give yourself time to heal. For many of us, toxic friendships are that rodeo we've unwittingly got dragged into more times than we wish. They're messy, maddening, and utterly infuriating. Nasty people will always exist, so the best we can do for now is to keep an eye out. You don't have to be overly skeptical, but it helps to observe how people act and react. Always put faith in your gut feeling too, because those instincts don't flare up over nothing. Dealt with terrible friends before? I'd like to hear your stories, because I know far too many of us have crossed this road in the past. Heck, you might even be dealing with one right now. So drop by in the comments, as I have much to share myself. Once again, it's Kern Champ reminding you, give yourself the love you deserve. Peace.
And I'ma just do me. A new thing hold me down on 2 feet. That's 10 toes, bust 4, 5, and 6 foes. Need 2.